Greetings, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're here for the first time. Today we're going to speak about the 51st gene key, which goes from the shadow of agitation to the city of awakening through the gift of initiative. Just breathe into that for a moment together. From agitation to initiative to awakening. What awakes what awakes inside when you just allow yourself to be with those words which hold vibration. When a word is consciously expressed, it is a messenger of a vibration, of an intention, of a consciousness. And the Gene Keys transmission is here to inspire us, to teach us, to remind us, really, of the vibrational or frequential process and of how what we call lower frequency becomes a higher frequency. And this is not an external process that we're describing in a Newtonian way. We're talking about an internal experience of being, and what does it mean when my being is at a low frequency? When my being is generating frequencies that are collapsing into perspective which is separate from others, which defines itself. It's an identification as being apart. Now, the funny thing, at a certain level, it's true. We are apart. We have, the event horizon of our skin in this temporary mortal human suit. And as the Buddhists say, the precious human existence. What a gift this is. What a gift it is to be alive here. And to recognize oneself as being in an infinite context. As Gandhi supposedly said, I am at the center of a circle with no circumference. Or as Rumi said, I am the ocean in the drop and the drop in the ocean, and vice versa, and on and on and on and on. And the ocean is a metaphor for the expanse, for the infinite. Cosmos. What a beautiful word. So, agitation at the low frequency level is an experience which cannot rest. It's an experience which is continually crashing against the surface of what is seen as being the limits of the self and of the external world. It's a form of fear, of course. It's a form of panic, of anxiety, of worry, of inner torment. Yeah. And we see it reflected outwards in all situations that are intrinsically agitated, of the modern world and the society where we might be living, or that we have knowledge of, that have violence and insecurity and anxiety at their core. And because everything that we witness is a reflection of what we have inside. So the more conscious we are of our inner state, the better, and when I say conscious, I don't mean like, well, it's a starting place. I'm conscious that I'm agitated. That's already a starting place, because if you're not conscious of it, then you're just, that's like the extreme. That's the extreme end of the agitation, where there's no self-consciousness. It's just like this. right? And so the more the more consciousness dawns, it's like, oh yeah, this is the state. The more this consciousness is going to be able to start um, emanating now from the inside, and bringing with it whatever the mind might think. Consciousness brings with it an intrinsic wisdom. When I say whatever the mind might think, because the mind might think, oh, I have to go out and get the wisdom, I have to go out and I have to learn, and I blah, 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 blah. And at a certain level, that's true. It is useful to learn stuff, learn from the outside, and fundamentally, it's all coming from inside. So whatever the mind might think, what's going to happen is there's going to be a gradual pacification, appeasement, a spaciousness that opens up. Really has a lot to do with the intelligence of space. And as this spaciousness opens up, this agitation is going to shift gears now. And the intrinsic movement of the energy that was agitated, like if you're looking at the bubbles rising from boiling water, so that's agitated molecules of water, right? And yet they're going in a certain direction now. They're in service to something more than just that, time frame, that a frozen frame of whatever it is, of a closed system. No, this is an open system, and so this energy now frees itself and goes from agitation, internal agitation, and this starts to be, this energy comes into service of a deeper knowing and higher consciousness. Again, meeting through the vertical now and the horizontal infinite here in the heart. An initiative, which is to initiate. Let's pay attention to the semantics here. It's really interesting. What are we initiating? What are we giving birth to? What are we creating? It's all about our creativity. Our capacity to manifest is our creativity. And whether we describe it through law of attraction or law of assumption or law of this or law of that, yes, this is the natural principle of being. And the more we know ourselves, know thyself and all of thy infinite potential, the more this reflects and starts to become manifest now in what we call the outer world. And so our initiatives give fruit. They bear fruit, and they're in service to the whole of what we ourselves are at the human level, and then in a greater way, our humanity, and what we're an expression of great spirit. And this is where the city is awakening, because this is what awakens through the initiative of consciousness coming through this whole process of the spectrum from the lowest frequency to what we call the highest frequency. But remember, it's funny when you point to the sky and say high frequency. Remember that the sky is surrounding us. It surrounds the planet. It surrounds your being. Space is our medium. It's the manifestation of the medium of consciousness. And that isn't trivial. It's really profound. So this 51st gene key is so beautiful. Whether you have it in your profile or not doesn't really matter. What counts is when you feel called by certain words, which again, they are the messengers of a vibration. And the nuances that the messenger, bears through being different semantics and sounds and all this other stuff, is part of the natural process of diversity and of the inherent infinite prosperity of the cosmos, which is you. So go ahead and flow with whatever it is that makes your heart sing, or that, that questions you. It's like, oh, agitation, that's something that, yeah, I can feel it inside. It's okay to have the low frequency. That's part of the spectrum, and you are the whole thing within which the spectrum, right, manifests, so to speak, in linear terms. And of course, it's beyond linear, So it's okay. It's okay to feel the low frequency. The more that you incarnate your true axis of vertical and then horizontal as being an expression, a sacred geometry of that, the man of Mencius within the Vesica Pisces, which is what the I Am process teaches, the more the low frequencies are going to be seen for what they are. They're just little whirlpools in the great ocean of your being, and then you can invest them with, basically you separate from being identified with them. They're no longer like, oh, this is me, this is me, this is me. It's like you see that you naturally expand and dissolve it in the ocean of your being, and that's such a gift. And it's a moment by moment process, because each moment is the eternal now. That's why we call it the present. It's a gift, right? Thank you so much for your kind attention and your presence, and until next time.